The last few weeks, we've been seeing the team ramp up the start of its marketing efforts with content creator reward programs, trying to entice more people to create more buzz around the game. And now it seems that Kieran is back on the AMA track. And of course, that means that changes are coming, releases are coming, and most importantly, open beta for Illuvium is finally coming. The best thing that comes with open beta is the free stuff, naturally. And according to a recent AMA Kieran did with Najaf, Illuvium will be sporting at least 2 more airdrops as we ramp up to the start of open beta. Now, the first airdrop that Kieran mentioned is one that is going to be aimed at the current community. It looks to reward those who have been here the longest and continuously participating in the ecosystem. The way he explained it is that there will be an array of activities that will have generated you points. This will include actions like whether or not you've staked in the liquidity pools, how long you've been staked, how much you've staked. It will include actions such as purchasing land from the land sale, purchasing discs for Illuvitars, and even your level of participation when it comes to utilizing the Illuvidex. All of these points will add up and help determine how much of the airdrop you're entitled to. Now, a lot of these examples from Kieran were just that, examples. We do not have concrete announcements laying out who qualifies for what and how much, but it is something that we can look forward to. Kieran did say that this would be the smaller of the 2 airdrops. But when you consider how much smaller the pool is compared to a pool of recipients participating in open beta, it is likely that for the community, this is the larger chunk you may receive. But that's just me speculating here. Now, the next airdrop is going to come with open beta. It's going to include everyone who wishes to participate and is going to focus mainly on gameplay. This is Illuvium's take on the play to airdrop that has been going around. So whether you play Illuvium 0, Beyond, Arena, or Overworld, there'll be interactions and milestones that you can complete that will generate the points, and those points will, again, help determine your portion of the airdrop. Now, in his AMA with Najaf, Najaf did ask whether or not hours spent gaming in the private beta would count towards any of these goals or milestones, and, well, Kieran didn't say no. In fact, he just refused to comment, which, in my mind, he could have just said no. Who knows? Maybe this is a hint to all of us to spend just a few more hours in PvP or the overworld before open beta gets released. If you don't have an Illuvium account yet and you want to start sharpening your skills and grinding in hopes of an airdrop advantage, feel free to use my link in the description below to sign up for an account and get a jump start on the competition. Now, the next juicy bit of gossip has to do with the landholders. Now, at this point, the first Illuvium Land sale occurred almost 2 years ago. And the big draw to those looking to own Illuvium Land is that landholders are entitled to 5% of all in-game generated revenue. Now, the good news is that Kieran would prefer not to sell any additional land plots in the near future. Instead, he's hoping to create a system where the existing landholders are given more of a stake from what free-to-play players in Illuvium 0 generate. A lot of the following is in its infant stages and closer to speculation than fact. But Kieran mentioned that one way that he could see doing this is that the free-to-play players of Illuvium 0 would be able to join guilds run by Illuvium landowners. And landowners would be able to gain a percentage of the fuel produced by free-to-play players to then turn around, sell, and make a profit. Now, as a quick refresher, anyone playing free-to-play land plots cannot produce fuel to sell to the overworld players. There is no earning potential that we know of for free-to-play players at this time, and Kieran didn't mention what might encourage free-to-play players to even join a guild in the first place, but there's been talk about creating more of a Heroes of Mavia style to Illuvium 0, where you'd be able to send troops to raid other outposts. That being said, as far as we know, nothing like that is currently under development. And finally, probably one of the biggest questions to many who prefer to play on mobile: will Illuvium's full gameplay loop be available on mobile one day? In the past, it has been no secret that while the team has already had plans to put PvP on mobile, Overworld was never meant to be a mobile game. However, recently, they have been considering a new mode where someone might be able to speedrun the Overworld from their phone. From what Kieran described, it'd be closer to the pack opening that everyone has always compared it to. You would click a button, after a certain amount of time your ranger would return and would present you with the randomized loot that they picked up on their run, a combination of alluvials and harvestables. Personally, I really hope this is not the case. I like farming the overworld. I appreciate the grind of leveling alluvials and that there's some game skill required to navigate the terrain, capture the alluvials, whether it's in an auto-battler format like it currently is, or shooting down its health bar before it disappears, which I think is the long-term plan. I always intend to play and pay for my play by reselling the items I don't need or want. But if someone can just spam a speedrun button, I could see the market getting flooded with unwanted alluvials and items, as well as alluvials catch curve rising much faster than intended, making some harder to find, and most much more difficult to catch regardless of upgrades. A lot of the reasoning Kieran gave to doing this was so that those who aren't interested in the overworld whatsoever and don't want to spend their time grinding for the gear and leveling those alluvials don't have to spend their time doing that. But to me, this would only really be an issue at the very start of open beta, where everyone is starting from scratch, and beyond the free rotation decks, there might be a few weeks where PvP Arena is either really quiet or has super weak, mismatched decks as people either catch or buy their units off the Illuvidex. Honestly, talking it all out like this, it seems a little bit selfish of me to say. So hey, I could totally be in the wrong, but let me know in the comments. Would you want a speedrun option? Now, there was so much more covered in Kieran's recent AMA with Najaith, but those were, to me, the best highlights. If you want to check out the whole interview, I've linked it in the description below. And for now, we wait with bated breath for the announcement of open beta. Apparently, once the cinematic trailer hits, it is only 2 to 4 weeks away. Here's hoping we still hit that Q2 release window. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see you in the overworld.